Thank you very much, Rafael. Hello, everyone. My name is Vasilis Giannoudis. I'm a transport engineer. I'm working at the Hellenic Institute of Transport, part of CERTH, as a research associate. And today we'll be presenting to you a use case of Thessaloniki's Living Lab that we performed in the DISCO project. Rafael, are you changing the slides? Or can I? Thank you. Today's agenda will be about, I will present to you what DISCO does in general, very briefly though, and I will start presenting what we did in Thessaloniki, what challenges we faced, and what is next after the DISCO project. Um, Now, I don't want to bore you about what we do in CERTH, so I believe we can skip these slides for now. However, if you'd like to learn more, please get in contact. I will have my details at the last slide. I will be very happy to discuss about any questions. So let's move to the next ones. So, what we do in Disco? Disco does many different things in terms of urban logistics. So we have a meta model suite. We have an urban freight data space. We have the pilots. We try to test some technologies, some measures, how we have distinguished the domains that the urban logistics capture in the context of DISCO is what you see right here. We have broken down these five domains as DISCO Curb, DISCO Estate, DISCO Proxy, DISCO Bay, and DISCO Collection. All these five things capture different domains in the urban logistics ecosystems of the cities. DISCO Curb focuses on the smart curbside management. DISCO Estate focuses on how we could, change the buildings, change the spaces, change the premises of existing infrastructure, of existing spaces to make them more urban logistics operations friendly. DISCO Proxy focuses on how we can make better use of micro hubs, smart lockers, how we can combine more partners under the same infrastructure, and in general, how we can make greener the last mile part of urban logistics. DISCO Bay focuses on how we can make use of existing transport infrastructure. This means rail, waterborne, let's say existing metro stations, how we can make space for logistics operations during this in these specific types of infrastructure. And these collections is how we can make the data collection of all these previously mentioned domains, how we can collect data in a more standardized, in a more dynamic, in an easy way, how we can collect this data and get insightful information out of this. So, as I mentioned, today we will be focusing on Thessaloniki's Living Lab measures, and more specifically to the DISCO Estate measure. So what we did in Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki's Living Lab consists primarily by four main partners. It's us, the Hellenic Institute of Transport, part of CERTH, that we lead the Living Lab, and we are responsible for developing all the digital infrastructure that is required to progress with the piloting activities. Is TIF Elexpo, which is the real estate partner. DISCO is a project that requires that its main goal in the context of the physical internet is how we make better use of existing infrastructure for the objectives of the project, and TIFL Expo is very important partner for this, as they give their premises to demonstrate our piloting objectives. It's the national entity for organizing exhibitions, congresses, and other events in Greece, and obviously that makes them a big generator of freight flows. So in the context of Thessaloniki's Living Lab, TIF's premises will be utilized as they retrofitted one of their spaces. They retrofitted these spaces to support ACS operations. ACS is our main data provider and our logistics operator in the context of our pilot. One out of three packages is being delivered by ACS in Greece. And finally, we have the municipality of Thessaloniki with us as the measure accelerator. So let's move on. This is just an overview of the four measures that we demonstrated during our piloting activities in Thessaloniki. As I mentioned today, I will be focusing more in the DISCO estate measure. The DISCO estate measure is how, as I mentioned earlier, is how we can demonstrate temporary, multi-purpose, and optimal use of strategically positioned buildings at the TIFL Expo area, how we can convert it as a logistics hub when events aren't taking place, or even when events are taking place, to operate with shared transport and logistics facilities, and how we can optimize them through smart solutions and tools. So, some of our partners in DISCO during their visit to Thessaloniki had the opportunity to see the area of TIF. It's a very large area just at the border of the historical center of Thessaloniki, and this makes it very strategically important for the objectives of our piloting activities. If you could move on to the next slide, please. So this map I prepared basically shows ACS relocation from the historical center of Thessaloniki, from a very, very, very commercial main road of Thessaloniki's city center, just outside the borders of the historical center at TIFL Expo premises. Now, a little timeline on how we did that. Yeah, first of all, obviously, we recognize the opportunity to do this, to demonstrate this. TIFL Expos has many available places that they would like to make better use of them. So first we discussed that with our partners. We came up with a plan. We came up with some different options. However, the objectives of DISCO required to make use of existing tools as well. So we thought that it would be nice if we can do all this negotiation stage and booking stage by using a tool we call WhereMNO. It's think of it as an Airbnb for freight infrastructure, for available warehouses. But obviously this required to enhance it, as it is a legacy platform. It is a platform that we used 5 years ago or 6 years ago. So this required some changes. Obviously, we had to upgrade it. We enriched some of the taxonomies, as we call them, of the platform to meet the disco estate measures needs. We added a smart contract capability. We developed the APIs to allow connection and real-time occupancy tracking by whoever wants to add their warehouse in this platform. And we standardized the data exchange. We also provided some documentation about this. Next, we presented the plan to ACS and TIFL Expo. So we told them that they should start the negotiations within the platform. This required from ACS to find the best place that could help them do this relocation, so to take their shop at the center of Thessaloniki to TIF's premises. And this obviously took some time because they had to find the proper place. TIFL Expo has many available places, but not all of them are the best options to support a courier service provider. Let's go to the next slide. Once they reached to the agreement, ACS finally relocated and moved its primary shop at the TIFL Expo premises. But we had some other problems. As I mentioned, TIFL Expo is, let's call it, a congress place. Every week have different events going on there. So in order to have a better flow in their logistics operation, we had to add some cameras, some extra infrastructure to upgrade the logistics flows, but also to keep things going as in a business as usual, let's put it this way, for both of the partners. Okay, yes, also as I mentioned earlier, we also added an extra capability in our WhereM&O platform that allows all the partners that have their places within this platform to connect their WMS with our platform, or their building management system with our platform, that can show in real time their availability in their warehousing spaces. So this is something that TIFL Expo did, this is something that ACS did, and this is something that another partner from Spain, FM Logistics, did. And then we started collecting data to keep track of our KPIs. Now, a couple of challenges that we faced. As I mentioned, the layout of an expo center is not the most appropriate. So we had some difficulties of finding the right space for loading and unloading. We couldn't make use of spaces that are in the first floor, so they had to be on the ground floor. Also, we had some size limitations. And also some important necessary features were lacking of many spaces. And the second one was that obviously the expo working hours are different to ACS operations hours. So we had to install some extra infrastructure to have 24/7 vehicle access in the area. Yes, this very dodgy, let's say, schema is basically how it's the previous condition and how is the new condition of ACS operation. So in the first, in the two pictures on the top, you can see that the van of ACS just in front of their shop parks in one of the lanes of a very commercial road in Thessaloniki, the major commercial road of Thessaloniki. Obviously, this resulted to traffic fines. Obviously, this resulted to someone needing to be everywhere every time there to check the operations. Also, you can see that there are motorbikes taking some space of the pavement, and also other equipment that had to be, in a way parked in the sidewalks, taking the place from the people walking on the sidewalk. This changed after the relocation. So the new place consists of two faces, let's say. One is the one side of the shop faces on the main road, and the back side of the shop is a designated space that has so much extra space for the operations to happen in a good flow. Now, what's next? I didn't focus so much in the Wear-M&O platform. However, we can later obviously discuss it if you like and if we have time. But the goal is to expand. The goal is to add more sites across the metropolitan area, even other areas in Greece or abroad. As we have developed that during the Disco project in a very good way. We tested that with partners from abroad, as I mentioned, FM Logistics. And a second goal is to allow this Wear-M&O platform to manage shared bookings amongst multiple courier services. That was an initial goal that we had here in Disco. We didn't quite achieve it, but yeah, we would like to make this happen because we think the Wear-M&O platform has this potential as well now that it is blockchain powered, as we call it. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasilis, for the presentation. It's great to hear at the beginning to have an overview of the Disco elements, and then how you manage to collaborate with the logistics operators and the estate owners, which is always the challenge, and how to align their needs and their specificalities. But I guess we will have more time to discuss about it later. You can post your questions on the chat, and we can gather everything together after the presentations. Great to hear from Thessaloniki. Let's go to